Hey friends, in today's video I'm sharing a look that is so quick and so simple, but you still have a full pulled together look. So this look requires little steps. It doesn't require a ton of brushes. This look can be done in, I would say, 8 minutes. This video is going to be a lot longer because I really take my time and dive deep into tips and products and all that stuff. But at home, I think you could knock this out in, 5 minutes, 8 minutes. If you try it, let me know. Particularly great for those of you that are just getting started in makeup. You're just getting into makeup, but you want to find a polished, pulled together look. This video is for you. So everything that I'm going to be using is in this makeup bag. This is the BK Beauty Core bag. I'm the founder of BK Beauty. If you're new to my channel, my name is Lisa. Hello and welcome. So everything that I have is in this bag, all the products that I'm going to be using and all of the brushes. I really wanted to keep this simple, but not too simple. I really wanted this look to be something that feels put together and you feel like you've got a full look on, you have your makeup on, but it's really simple. There's not a whole lot of products to it and it's very easy and quick. So that's what this video is all about. All right, so let's go ahead and pull this. The way this bag works is you just unzip the top and then you pull it down. And you can use this as a brush canister. You can actually fill this with brushes, or you can use it to put your brushes in your product. And it was a tight squeeze, I'm gonna be honest. It was a tight squeeze to get everything in here, but I did. I actually travel with this bag often when I'm carrying very little makeup and I just want a couple brushes and some makeup. This is the bag that I use. Okay, so first let's go in with skin. I do already have my normal skincare on, my moisturizer, eye cream, serum, all of that. Now I'm gonna go in and actually prep my skin for foundation. Today, I'm gonna be using Jane Iredale products. I'm using their skincare makeup system, which is a system of 3 products. I'm going to talk real quickly about it, and then we'll go in and I'll show you how these work on the skin, how you apply them. So it starts with their Smooth Affair Primer, which I'm going to go in with this first. Then I'm going to go in with the Jane Iredale Pure Pressed Base Mineral Foundation. This is the absolute best powder foundation I have ever tried, and I will go into more detail when we get to foundation. And then it finally ends with the Jane Iredale Paw Mist Hydration Spray. So this is the skincare makeup system. I did team up with Jane Iredale for this video. If you're new to my channel, I am a huge fan of Jane Iredale products. They are just high performing. They are great for the skin. They are packed with like good for you ingredients. And above all else, they're just high performing, which is kind of the first box that every brand needs to check for it to end up here on my YouTube channel and to get a glowing review from me. So let's go ahead and start with the primer. I'm gonna go in, this is the Smooth Affair Brightening Primer. And since I do have my skincare, I already have my skincare applied, I'm gonna take a little bit more than like a pea-sized amount of this primer. And the way that I like to apply this is I like to kind of press it into my skin, and I always like to start in the center of the face. This smells incredible. It has this really beautiful kind of citrusy scent, and it's very smoothing. Will actually smooth texture in the skin, make everything look smooth. This is the brightening primer, so it's gonna help brighten the skin. It also gives a really beautiful feel and slip to the skin, so when you go in with the foundation, it just lays on so nice and naturally, and it looks like skin. Oh, this is so nice. Now, it's really important to use a product to prep the skin before going in with your foundation. That's how you're just gonna get the most natural look. When you apply foundation over dry skin that has no kind of slip to it, it is going to either one, it's not going to adhere to the skin, it's gonna look patchy, you're not just gonna have a really even application, and it's not gonna wear as well throughout the day. So I love this primer. It's also very nice and hydrating. It makes the skin feel so good. Next, we're gonna go in with the Jane Iredale Pure Pressed Base Mineral Foundation. Now, I discovered this product a couple years ago, and I'm so glad that I stumbled onto this as one of the first Jane Iredale products to use, because it is, I think it's probably their best seller. It's definitely in their like top few best sellers, and it happened to be the first one that I tried from the brand. So of course I fell in love with it because everyone loves this product, and it really got me excited to try more from the brand. This is a powder foundation that has an SPF of 20. This is unlike any other powder foundation that you have ever used. Now, the reason I chose this particular product for this particular video is because it is going to give you the coverage and the finish as beautiful as any other like cream or liquid foundation on the market that you might like, but it's so easy to apply and so quick. So it's really great for these simple, basic, quick looks, but you're not sacrificing finish or coverage or wearability or longevity. You're still getting a beautiful, flawless finish, but in a product that is just easy, effortless, effortless and takes no time to apply. Now, you have a couple options when you are applying a product like this as far as the coverage that you want to get. You can use a large fluffy brush. This is the BK Beauty 104 if you want something light and natural. If you want a bit more coverage and you just really want to maximize the coverage from you get from a product like this, go in with the smaller, more dense brush. This is the BK Beauty 107. Today, I'm feeling like I want a little more coverage. So I'm going to go in with the BK Beauty 107 brush, and I am going to really load the brush up, and I'm just going to start by pressing it onto the skin. And I always like to start in the center of the face. I'm just going to press this into the skin, and I'm going to go right back into the pan and build it up to get the most coverage. Now, what I love about this product is it really is smoothing. It makes the skin look smooth. It helps blur texture and pores. It looks so natural on the skin. Even though it's a powder foundation, it doesn't look flat or matte. It's very, very beautiful. I am the shade Golden Glow in this. So if you find that you are a lot of times the same shade I am, the shade that I am in this is Golden Glow. This is the foundation that I like 8 out of 10 times take with me when I travel. And it's regardless of where I'm going. We actually just got back from a vacation to Cancun, Mexico, so we were at the beach. So you think the beach, I'm not wearing a lot of makeup. I don't need to pack a lot of makeup. It's not like I'm going to like a high, it's not like I'm going to like a major market or a large city that we're gonna be going out to dinner or events or things like that. We're really gonna be sitting by the pool most of that vacation, and I packed this product. However, if I'm going to Miami in February, and I will probably bring this foundation with me, even though I'm gonna be at a lot of events, and it's just a very great versatile foundation. And I say versatile because you can get, like I said, very natural coverage or very light or sheer coverage. Okay, so now that I've built that up and I've got about the coverage that I want, I think we're pretty good there. I'm gonna go in and add some concealer. Now, if you are just getting into makeup and you're looking for concealers, there's a big range in concealer. So first you need to determine like what type of coverage do I want and what type of finish do I want. I like to say go with a medium coverage concealer. Sometimes full coverage concealers can just be a bit too heavy, and most of us don't really need like a full coverage, and it's very easy to over apply full coverage concealers. Now there are some that I have that I love, like the Tarte Shape Tape I really love, but you have to be very conscious of how much you use. And I think the mistake that we see most often is people just using too much concealer, and the tricky thing about it is it doesn't look like too much because you're basically applying the same amount that you would apply in something that has a lighter weight finish like the NARS Creamy Concealer, but because it is so pigmented and full coverage, it's like probably 3 times as much actual product that you need. So if you're just getting started, find something that's easier to work with. I find the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer really nice and easy to work with. There is a drugstore dupe to this. It's the Neutrogena Radiant Skin, Radiant something. It comes in a tube like this. I'm gonna link all these products, by the way, in the description box, so you can find all the links, and I'll also add the Neutrogena one that I'm referring to in the description box. And I'll also tag them on the YouTube shopping platform too, if that's a little easier. So I'm gonna go in with this concealer. I'm the shade Custard, and I like to apply a little bit of concealer right here in the inner corner, and then I like to take and apply some right here in the outer corner and kind of lift up. I'm gonna blend these two together, but for placement, I like to start there. Most of us are going to have more to cover right here in the inner corner. Like if you look real closely, you can see some green veining there in my inner corner, and I wanna cover that. And I have a little bit of pinkness and redness around my lash line. I actually had makeup on earlier today, and then I washed my face to film this video, so my eyes are a little more red, a little more sensitive than they normally are. Now, if you're just getting into makeup, always start with less product than you think you might need. You can always go in and add extra product, but I will say, particularly with concealer, don't start off with just swiping completely fully underneath the eye, because you will find that you can actually just spread what you apply here to meet what you have here, and you have the perfect amount of product. So I'm going in with the BK Beauty A506 concealer brush. I'm just pressing this right in the inner corner, and I'm making my way and moving the brush over to meet that outer corner right there. So I'm basically spreading that to give me that full coverage that I need. This is a great concealer brush if you are just getting started too, because it's the perfect size. It's basically like your finger, but better. It's the perfect size. It has a nice tapered tip, so it can get right there in the inner corner and blend out very easily. And it's a good size because it's quick. It's relatively quick. We also have the BK Beauty 110 concealer brush, which is even quicker, but this one is just a little smaller. They're both gonna blend it out quickly. If you're one of those like super minimal, don't have a lot of time, I would go with the 110. All right, do the other side. Another tip, you saw that I applied my foundation first and now I'm going with concealer. If you are someone that has a lot of blemishes on the face and you know that you're gonna wanna put concealer on those blemishes too, I would do concealer first when you are working with this particular foundation, the powder foundation. Do your concealer first on the face and then go in with the Pure Pressed Mineral Base Foundation. But I don't really use concealer on the face other than underneath the eyes. So for me, applying it first was fine. Okay, so now we have our foundation and our concealer applied. The last step to the makeup skincare system from Jane Iredale is one of my favorite products, which is their Palm Mist Hydration Spray. This is not just any other setting spray, you guys. And I'm gonna be honest, when I first purchased this a couple years ago, the Jane Iredale makeup artist, Sean, which by the way, Sean and I become buddies, we're friends now, and I did a video with him recently doing my makeup. So I'll link that video down below so you can watch it. But this was the first time I met Sean. I stumbled into a retail store that sold Jane Iredale. And I was like, you know, tell me about this brand, tell me about these products. And he talked to me about this. So I was like, okay, add this to my cart. I will get this. And I was on board for the primer. But when it came to the setting spray, I think I remember telling him like, I don't need that. I've got like 20 setting sprays at home. I'm good. And he was like, no, trust me. This is not like every other setting spray. This was created and designed to work perfectly hand in hand with this product. It's a hydration spray. And while it does set your makeup, it just gives the skin, it's going to set your makeup and make it, you know, help it stay all day, but it's also going to just make that powder finish just look even more skin-like. If you notice when you apply powder, sorry, I just need to give myself a moment. It smells so, so good. Okay, so I'm just gonna spray and let that kind of set the foundation. What this also does, if you ever notice when you apply powder products to the skin, how the skin actually looks its best, maybe like 45 minutes later, an hour, maybe 2 hours, depending on how long it takes your skin to kind of oxidize and start producing natural oils. That's when your skin looks the best, right? This kind of accelerates that process and gives you that look and that finish immediately. Very, very beautiful. So these three products together are the Jane Iredale Skincare Makeup System. I'm gonna link it down below, but now we have our skin done, and I have to say, we are looking good. Yes, we are looking good. I'm actually gonna take, just for fun, I'm gonna take my 104 and I'm gonna go into my powder one last time. After I've set it with the Palm Mist Hydration Spray, sometimes I like to go in and do this. Just a light little veil of powder on top of that. Just to kind of tie everything together. I'll even sweep it underneath my eyes. Whew, just the finishing touch. Okay, whew, foundation is done. I know that seems like it took forever, but I'm trying to be very detailed in this video. So at home, you guys, this would take you like 2 minutes. Let's go in and warm up the skin. I am going to get the Jane Iredale bronzer. I'm the shade light in this, and I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna use the VK Beauty 107. If you're a beginner in makeup, I also tried to pick brushes that I thought were great for beginners in makeup. The 107 is probably the powder brush that I would recommend to someone brand new, starting their brush collection out, and they're trying to purchase, like, not a ton of brushes. The reason I recommend this is because you can use it for powder foundation, like you just saw me do. You can also use it for pressed powder setting or loose powder. You can also use it for bronzer. It's a really nice size for bronzer, and you can actually just use the tip and just press it onto the skin. This product has a really nice amount of pigment payoff, but not too much, so it's very easy to work with. And just kind of build up to get the level of color and warmth that you want. So pretty. I also like to sweep a little bit right here in the hairline, and then I have been really into putting it right here on my temples too. Okay. I'm gonna sweep just a little bit on the nose. Okay, so when it comes to brows, this was a bit of a challenge for me because I normally like to use 2 products in my brows. I like to use a brow pencil to create some definition and shape to my brows, and then I like to go in with the brow gel to create volume and hold in my brows. Now, for the sake of this video and really catering and paring this down to beginners and simplicity and basic, I was like, what is one brow product that I would recommend to someone? Like, just one. That's actually kind of a tricky thing to ask because brows are so personal. If you are someone that has a lot of brow, like you have full brows and dark brows, you'd use a different product. That one product for you would be different than someone who has very sparse brows and not much shape, right? You guys would use different products. I chose this product and I'm gonna explain why. This is the Makeup Forever Aqua Resist Brow Filler. This is like a chubby kind of pencil. It's a thicker pencil than like one of the thicker that you would find in a brow pencil. You either find those really like micro point brow pencils, and then you find kind of the thick triangular shaped brow pencils, which this one is. This one is kind of like a waxy texture. So since I'm skipping that brow gel process that I normally do, I wanted a pencil that has a little bit of a waxiness texture to it as a hold. This will help lay down my brow hair, and while it's not going to tame the brow hair as much as the gel would, it's going to do a much better job than just say a drier, fine micro tip pencil. So I chose this one as my like one product, and I think generally speaking, this would be a pretty good like one product for someone. This or like a tinted brow gel would probably be the products that I would say would be like the best like one and done brow products, because the tinted gel can give you color and shape and hold. But for me, I chose a pencil instead of that because as you can see, my brows are very off. They are not the same shape. One's higher than the other. I'm missing some hair here. Like I really need a pencil to create that. And that's why I chose this. So this is the shade Deep Blonde, by the way, and it actually is pretty dark. I'm kind of surprised it's called Deep Blonde. I thought it would be like a medium brown or something. I'm gonna have a very light hand. This is a pretty pigmented product. And if there's one thing that you can just be a little too heavy on, it is brows. I like a softer looking brow. I used to make the mistake of making my brows very strong, and I think it made me look angry, which if you know me, I don't want to be angry. I don't want to look angry. Okay, so, and I'm just gonna slightly sketch in this brow. I have very, very light pressure, not much pressure at all. When I'm here at the bulk of the brow, I'm kind of running my brush upward to create more like a hair-like look. And then as I get here to the arch of the brow, I'm making more kind of horizontal strokes. And then when I get out here to the tip, I'm just slightly pulling it out. I like to kind of imagine a little line here, like from the outer corner of my eye, if I were to hold the pencil there, that's about where you want your brow to end, okay? Now, when it comes to brows, I think it's very helpful to remember that they are sisters, they are not twins, and they should not look like distant cousins. So all that to say is, you know, you want your brows to look similar, but most of us don't have perfectly symmetrical brows. Most of us have a little bit of variation between our brows, and I think as we get older, that is more the case because our face changes, things start to drop a little bit, and you know, if you choose to get Botox or any other procedures done, that can definitely alter the shape and placement of your brows. I do get Botox, if you are curious, I do get it. And there has been a time or two where I did it and maybe the placement was a little too close to my brows and they were just too pulled up. So I'm trying to be very careful and conservative with that because, you know, I want to do these things and look very natural. Okay, so we got our brows on. Let's go ahead and move on to eyes. Now the eyes, I'm gonna say right off the bat, we have an option here, you guys. When I first was planning this look, I thought we don't need to do a shadow or a cream shadow, just do a really beautiful liner and mascara. However, I want to show you a shadow that is a really beautiful one and done shadow that's very simple. It doesn't take much time to apply, and it really does elevate the look to look like a night out look, or not even a night out look. I should remove that. I don't want you to think dramatic here, but like it's really that product that'll give you that full, complete look, but it's not an extra time. It's not a lot of extra time. You don't even need a brush for it. Okay, and that product is a cream eyeshadow. Now, I grabbed this one from Chanel. It's beautiful and I love it, but you certainly don't have to drop the price point for this particular one. Revlon has a really beautiful cream shadow. I think it's called Caramel or Camel. I've talked about it a lot on my channel and I'll link it down below. And it's very similar to this. It's lighter than this, but it's very similar and it's beautiful and it's one of my favorites too. I couldn't locate that one, so we're going with the Chanel one in Patine Bronze. I'm just gonna use my finger for this, guys. I'm using my middle finger because it just fits in perfectly to this little pot. And I'm just going to shear this out onto the lid. Oh, this color is stunning. I just don't think it gets better than a nice, rich, medium tone bronze. You know, not too dark, not too light, just perfect. And look at that. My finger, I didn't even use a brush. And you guys, if there's anyone that will sell you a brush, it's me, quite literally, right? I'm gonna go in with the other finger and we're gonna do the other side. Oh, it's so pretty. This texture is very nice. Now this formula does have some shimmer to it. Not some, it's a shimmery finish, but I think it's beautiful on all eyelids. And I'm saying that especially for any of you that have more texture on the eyelids or crepiness. It's just very sheer and beautiful. You can just really work it out with your finger and have a nice light Oh, it's so pretty. Isn't that beautiful? I just think it's the most stunning color. So this is the Chanel and it's the shade Patine Bronze. But again, I'm gonna link a drugstore option for you down below. Okay, next we're gonna do eyeliner. Now I chose to go with a bronze eyeliner versus a black liner. You can certainly skip this out if you wanna use black. It's no extra time or effort really to use black or brown. I love a good rich bronze on pretty much everyone. I do think that there are people that can pull off black really beautifully without it looking really strong, but this one is one of my favorites. This is the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in the shade Bourbon, and we are going to lay this on its side and we're just gonna run it across the lid. Now, the reason that I chose these two particular products together, there was some planning and strategy there too, since this is specifically for beginners. This color and the color on my lid are very similar. There's not a lot of contrast, right? Which makes it a little more foolproof, okay? If you mess up or make a mistake or your liner gets a little too thick in an area, it's not so obvious because you have this shadow on your lid that kind of blends with it. If I had done a light shade, just a very light like bone color shade or vanilla color shade, and then gone in with something that contrasted like this, I'd have a little more pressure on me to get this eyeliner perfect, right? You would. So for beginners, try and do that. Try and kind of match your liner and your lid shade close to each other. You want the liner to be slightly darker so you get that definition, but it's gonna allow you a lot more room to, you know, mess up or not be perfect. The best way to do your liner is to lay your pencil on its side and just softly make little sketches. That's how you're gonna get the most consistent looking line. On the lower lashes, I'm just gonna start on the outer corner and I come over about halfway, maybe a little less than halfway. I don't take it all the way over typically. So pretty. Okay, now this is totally an extra step, not necessary because it does involve a brush, but I'm a little bit of a perfectionist when it comes to my lower lash line, and you can certainly leave the liner how it is. It looks perfectly fine. There's no need to fix anything. I want to soften it a little bit though, so I'm going to go in with a tiny little pencil brush. This is the BK Beauty 210, and I'm just going to run it on top of that liner just to soften it a little bit. Something else that you can do that would be really beautiful, let's just go ahead and do it for kicks, is take this brush and dip into your cream shadow and run it over. Also, an extra little tip, if you do mess up that liner on top, you can always do this on the top too. Take your cream and just run it over that liner. That'll just kind of fix any errors. Oh, this shadow is so pretty. So pretty. So eye makeup is pretty much done. We're just lacking mascara. I chose a mascara that just gives a lot of drama. I've really been loving this YSL mascara, Lash Clash mascara lately. I mean, this is mascara that you don't need a primer for. You're gonna get dramatic lashes like boom, right off the bat. Those are the pros. The cons of it is that the wand is pretty big and it's kind of messy. Now, I'm not gonna say you're gonna mess up and make a mistake every time, but this is definitely one that you wanna take your time with and be careful. It's kind of messy. I mean, you can even see like the lid. You know when you put a mascara in and pull it out and you get a bunch of buildup? That's this one. So, you know, full disclaimer, those are the cons, but it's really beautiful and dramatic and I love it. So I like to rest it at the base of my lashes, wiggle, wiggle, then pull up. Do you guys see what is happening here? I mean, look at this mascara. Unreal, right? So much drama, so much volume and length. Oh, so nice. On the lower lashes, be careful with this mascara though, because you don't want too much like weight on those lower lashes. I mean, this look is like, not maybe full on glam, but it's, you know, it's nice. It's like, doesn't look like a simple look, but it is so quick and so simple. Okay, you guys, we are almost done. Let's go ahead and add a little bit of color to these cheeks. I'm gonna go in with the powder blush in the shade Whisper from Jane Iredale. This is a really pretty, soft, peachy shade, like an apricot shade. It has a little bit of shimmer to it, but very subtle. I'm going in with the BK Beauty 112 brush. Actually, you know what? For the sake of, again, honoring this beginner makeup theme that we're going with, we're gonna use the 107. We're gonna try and keep this video as minimal brushes as possible. So we're gonna go with the 107 and I'm going to apply this. I like to apply blush, like use the apples of the cheek as a reference and a starting point and kind of work my way up, like brush down and then work my way up a bit. And this color is nice and light, so I'm gonna build it up a bit so you can really see that really pretty, warm, peachy shade. Ooh, so nice, so pretty. I'm gonna run a little bit on the nose. Very subtle. Some other shades that I love from Jane Iredale, they're Balmy Cream Blush. I know you've heard me talk about that one. It was hard to not grab that one for this one, but I'm like, you know what, Lisa, you gotta mix it up. You gotta mix it up a little bit. You can't show the same products on YouTube all the time, but that's another one I love. If you want a cream blush formula, the shade Balmy by Jane Iredale is perfect. And then there's a blush called Barely Rose and Flawless. Those two are probably my most worn. And then if you want a peachy shade, the shade Whisper is beautiful. Okay, you guys, for lips, we're gonna keep it simple. I have 2 lip products to share with you because I wanted to show you, like, you know, if you, again, beginner, not a lot of products, you're not gonna maybe do the lip liner, the lipstick, and the gloss. If you are looking for a lipstick that has a good amount of pigment, is long wearing, and that allows you to skip a lip liner, I picked up this from L'Oreal, and I think it's a new formula. I'm not sure exactly, but it was on the end cap Target, and I thought it was featured as new. It's so hard to keep up with what's new and what's not. But this is the shade 601 Worth It. And this formula is like a really nice, pigmented, comfortable matte lipstick. And the shape of this bullet is really nice and small, so you don't need a lip liner because you have a lot of control over creating the shape of your lip with this bullet. So we're gonna skip lip liner for this. I'm gonna apply this color. It's a really pretty, just kind of neutral rosy pink. Now, I'm gonna take the tip of it, and now I'm gonna trace my lip line with the tip of the stick, just to kind of clean up and give me a really nice lip line. Okay, now we could leave it here. I did want to show you that if you are a glossy girl and you want some shine and gloss to your lips, beginning out, starting your makeup collection, go with a gloss that is very universal, a gloss that you can top over any color. This one is from Sephora. It's the shade 01. It's the Outrageous Effect Plump Effect lip gloss. They have this type of shade in every formula, so you could go to Target and pick up your favorite. You can really find a shade like this anywhere. It's basically like a little bump up from clear. It's almost like a kind of opal color. So it won't necessarily alter the color of whatever lipstick you've used. It'll just give a shine to it. It might tweak it a little bit and make it a little more milky looking, but for that purpose, if you really just want a clear gloss, find a clear gloss. But I thought, you know, if you're just starting out and you want versatility, you have one gloss and then just change the colors in your actual lipstick. And this is the completed look. What do you guys think? I think this is a really great look. It's not a super simple, basic, no makeup look. Definitely pulled together, definitely have a full face on, but it's very, very simple. And I didn't really use a whole lot of products to achieve it, and I really kept the brushes minimal. So I will have all the products that I use listed and linked in the description box for you, as well as Jane Iredale's skincare makeup system. I'll link all the products individually, but I'll also link the set there too if you want to put together the whole set for the best results. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I really enjoyed filming it. I appreciate your love and support on my channel. I hope you are having a great start to 2024. I'm really excited about this year and just excited for some big ideas I have here on YouTube. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.